Before we dive in, I want to give huge shout outs to community partners Epilepsy Foundation of America, the Danny Did Foundation, and Epilepsy Alliance America. And big thanks to sponsors Neurelis and SK Life Science. Thank you for believing in this podcast and to help keep it going. All right, y'all, pull up a seat. This is going to be good. Okay, y'all, we are here with Dr. Brain Barbie, aka neurologist, epileptologist, Dr. Jessica Lowe. Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I came across, your content on Instagram. I wish I could say TikTok. I'm still trying with TikTok.
That's okay. I'm an Instagram generation girly anyway. I ended up on TikTok just because my younger nurses were like, Dr. Lowe, you have to get on TikTok. And I was like, girl, I'm an Instagram, Facebook generation. I'm not even on Facebook that much anymore, but I've kind of like settled nicely into Instagram. But I have TikTok just to reach the younger generation.
Girl, I would
well.
say with your following, you've settled in very well to Instagram, and your content, and your content speaks for it. That's why, and I'm so excited to have you here to kind of talk about, first of all, there's so many things I want to talk to you about, because I just appreciate seeing this other side of a doctor, and I think anytime we pull back the curtain a little bit, it just helps patients understand that doctors exist beyond the clinic, and have it's kind of like it's like when you're a kid and you see a teacher out, out in the world, you're like, wait,
at the mall, you're like, oh.
Yeah, you exist outside the classroom. It's kind of the same with doctors, except we don't really have as many interactions when we run into them by accident. Although I have run into my neurosurgeon twice. So awkward. Because it's like, you've seen my brain. But he's also he's just a nice guy. But I think we're both we really wish this wasn't happening. So let's talk about how Dr. Brain Barbie got started. And if you haven't, I'm going to drop but the handle is Dr. Brain Barbie. I'll have the link in the episode description. Definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
But because I love this origin story.
So, Dr. Brain Barbie started as a sticker.
All good things started stickers.
All good things started stickers. It was my birthday. One of my nurse girlies and one of my best friends, Taylor, she got me a couple of things for my birthday, and one of them was a Dr. Barbie sticker. And so, of course, I, stuck it on the back of my badge. This is what it looked like.
So cute.
Okay. Now, this was the front of my main medical badge, and then I just kind of stuck it on the back of this lanyard. And I was like, she was like, oh, look, now you have a picture on both sides. I was like, oh, you're so funny. Whatever. I stuck it on my badge, didn't think anything of it. And went about my days as a practicing physician. And of course, you have your badge and it flips around, right? And so it would frequently flip to this. And I didn't really think anything of it until the patients started commenting on it. They absolutely loved it. You just be there talking with a patient about something that's pretty serious, and they just get the smile on their face, and I'm like, "What's up? What's with the smile? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you?
You're like, I'm giving you
bad
news.
What's going on?
Why are you smiling?
I know. I'm like, oh no, they're not processing it well. And they're like, no, I just saw your sticker. It's so cute, and I'm like, oh. And then
that's so cool. How it just started as something that made patients' days, and
it just made them happy. It made them happy in what would be a pretty terrible time, right? You're in the hospital, you're seeing a neurologist. Chances are, you're stressed, you're tired, something serious is going on with your brain, and a sticker can put a smile on your face, fine. And then they affectionately started calling me Dr. Barbie. They started, nurses would call me and say, hey, Dr. Lowe, the patient's family's asking when Dr. Barbie's coming to see him. It took on this life of its own, and it was good. I thought it was adorable. Again, it was this, way to connect with patients. And so my nurses were like, Dr. Lowe, you got to start a TikTok. So I started a TikTok, initially just doing med humor things, kind of like my personality, like my makeup, my cars, my dogs, just, me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm going to do this for a couple of months and it'll fizzle out and then the nurses will get off my back, right? Because
Yeah, totally.
you're, as a doctor, you want your nurses to be
Wait,
happy,
yeah, I have a
right?
question
So,
though. Just like as
yeah.
a physician, was it nerve-wracking? Because I know like I might have looked for my doctor's like Instagram accounts, which I could not find, and then I stopped looking.
Yes.
And I feel like it's very common for doctors to either have private accounts or like
Yeah.
was it nerve-wracking
Which I
at
did.
all? Oh, okay.
A little bit. I mean, yes. There was definitely, when I first started posting, you're kind of posting, I was posting things that, are pretty innocent. I wasn't really posting any medical content. I was just posting, med humor. But even within the realm of med humor, there were certain things where I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't post this because, someone's going to get offended or, it's not viewed as professional or,
Yeah.
the hospital may not like this. And so, initially when I started, I didn't think much of it. And then as I continued to do it, I was like, wait, should I should I be worried about this? And I think that that's what a lot of doctors feel,
Yeah.
um, especially as I started pivoting into posting medical content,
Mm-hmm.
because I realized that that's really where the need was on the social media platform. Like as Dr. Brain Barbie took off, it was no longer a fun little thing for my nurses. It was something for me, uh, fill the gap in social media and, steer the ship in the direction of accurate medical information.
Yes.
Because what I noticed, and I think what a lot of those of us who are on social media notice, is, patients consume information very differently now, right? They're not just coming to you to get their information. They're not just Googling. They're going on TikTok.
Yeah.
And, patients would say to me all the time, well, I saw on TikTok that seizures do this, or I saw on TikTok that strokes do this, and
Wow.
there's a lot of misinformation on social media platforms, in the medical
Mm-hmm.
realm. And I realized as I kind of got into this, I said, if you're going to be getting your medical information on TikTok, then I'm going to put some accurate medical information on
I
TikTok.
love
All
it.
right, like this
Yeah.
is it. This is in my unlimited free time. Um,
Right.
because it's it's dangerous for people to be making what they think are informed medical
Mm-hmm.
decisions based on information on a social media platform by someone who is not a medical expert
Yes.
or who doesn't have a degree or who doesn't. And what happens is because we live in the era of everything's at our fingertips, we want the information and we want it now. We don't want to wait 6 months for an
Yeah.
appointment. I want it. I want it. I want it. I'm going to just TikTok it and find
I
it.
feel so
They are
seen. Yes,
going,
that's absolutely.
yes,
I go to ChatGPT,
this
which I
is,
know I shouldn't.
yeah,
I know I shouldn't, and I take it with.
which pulls it from social
Uh-huh.
media and
I know.
Google.
I know. It's awful. It's awful, and I'm really trying to stop doing that and just reaching out to my doctor. How do we know though,
Yeah,
like cuz like we've got Dr. Brain Barbie, who we know is like legitimate epileptologist, neurologist, double board certified, whole jam, right? So how do we
yeah.
delineate between like your account and one that is not, maybe, or maybe they are
It's
accredited, but like
difficult.
maybe,
It's
yeah,
difficult. Because here's the thing. Patients are desperate for this
yeah,
information, and if they find it in a video that is packaged and presented well and sounds confident by someone who rattles off a bunch of letters and says, "Hey, I'm a XYZ, degree is la da 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 da,"
mm-hmm,
right? That sounds legit. You're probably not going to go and look them up and verify their degree and go on whatever board that they're certified by and search them and say, okay, are they maintaining their CME to keep this degree? That's a lot.
yeah.
That's a lot, and people are not that. I don't want to say invested and dedicated, but you know,
Well, we are looking for the quick hit, like you said, the quick answer.
Correct.
Like with so much at our fingertips, we're like, well, might as well,
Yeah.
like look around
And
and see
and so
what's being said
just
out there.
how when I do my intro and I say, hey, I'm Dr. Jessica Lowe, I'm a double boarded neurologist and epileptologist, how many people have actually verified that?
Oh my God.
Seriously, I have 175,000 followers,
Yeah.
okay, on Instagram, 113. How many of them have gone to the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology and pulled up Verify Now and typed in Jessica Lowe to see that I am in fact boarded?
You know what? We're
People
going to have
can
to
say
pause so I
anything.
can go
Yeah.
do that right now. Because I
For the
didn't.
record, it is there. Okay? It is there. But my
Right.
point is, people can say anything.
Yeah.
And I have come across accounts of, people who portray themselves as a medical professional or people who are in a different realm of the medical-ish field
Sure.
that then kind of try to step into the neurology realm. So,
Okay.
and I'm not trying to hit any careers or any professions here, but, there are other fields that do very different things than what a neurologist does, but they are there saying, well, what I do, and then they'll put like neuro in front of it or neuro behind it,
Mm.
And that gets really confusing for patients because, okay, I mean, that sounds like it would be a thing,
Right.
but for me as a neurologist, I'm like, that's not real. And the frustrating thing about it is, and this is why, kind of going back to why we get on social media, despite perhaps our fears, if there is a gap, someone on social media is going to fill it. And neurology patients, my patients, are particularly susceptible to being taken advantage of in this space because they're scared and they're desperate for information, right?
Yeah.
Neurology is a scary thing. Something's up with your brain or your spine or your nerves. It's disabling. And so if someone is saying, hey, I can fix you, right? Or I have this information that no one has ever told you that's going to make it all go away, you're more likely to believe that. Even as a
Totally.
young patient, right? As an older patient who may be on Facebook and Instagram, maybe perhaps not so much on TikTok, they're having cognitive issues. Those are the patients that if they are on social media, they're very susceptible to being scammed and taken advantage of, And so for my patient population, I feel like it is more dangerous not to show up on social media than it is to show up on social media. Because if I don't show up on social media, someone who isn't a neurologist is going to show up on social media and tell them things that they're going to take at face value. It's going to hurt them. And then who has to fix it? Me. To fix it.
Yeah, it comes back
right?
on you either
because
way. Yeah.
When these people give you inaccurate medical information and it causes you to have a medical emergency, do you call them? No. If you do, they'll say, what will they say? If you call them up and say, hey, that supplement that you told me to take, now I can't move one side of my body, they're not going to say, well, here, I can fix it. They're going to say, go to the ER where the doctors are.
Yeah.
Right?
Or if they respond.
And then we have to deal with the fallout and say, why did you stop taking this medication? Now you can't move one side of your body. And they say, well, I saw it on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. These are true stories.
I believe
These are true stories.
Yeah.
And we have seen it. And I bet in the next 10 years or so, we'll have the data that shows that, there was an increase in morbidity, not mortality, because it's not going to kill you, but it might disable you. There was an increase in morbidity when the TikTok medical realm took off because people were consuming inaccurate information and making medical decisions based on that and were having poor outcomes.
Ugh.
And when it comes to neurology, guys, at a certain point, we can't fix it. If you have had a massive stroke, I can't undo that. Right? Yeah. For a lot of my things, it's about prevention, right? It's about preventing you from going into status epilepticus, right? It's about preventing you from having the stroke because the brain is finicky and once it's injured, okay? And so for me, again, it's just so important to show up in this space, because if I don't, and if we as the medical community do not, then others will. And those people they don't care about patients. They care about money. They care about scamming people. They care about fame. They don't care about our patients the way we do.
Totally.
And when it goes south, and it will, they're not the ones that have to break that bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, that resonates so hard, especially when you said, like, my patients are the ones that are compromised. I just think about, like, in my postictal phase, like, which is 4 days long after a seizure, how, like, cognitively gone I am.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to see something that was like popped up and was like, hey, are you postictal? Here's the cure. Like, I would probably 100% jump on board, because, like, my rational brain is pretty much just gone.
No.
You know, like, so, and I haven't seen that, and I really hope I don't. But I feel like this is really good. Is hedance a word? I don't know.
Adherence.
Adherence. Thank you.
Yeah. There you go.
See, you get this brain. It's
I get it, girl. I do. Listen,
it's medicated and always postictal. So
you know, and this is kind of goes to, you know, what I think we also want to talk about is why some physicians are afraid to be on social media. Right?
Like, I'm just like, because I'm projecting a little bit too. I'm not a physician, obviously. But I'm just projecting, like, I still get nervous every time I post something about myself. So that is just my own weird neuroses that I have around social media.
Yeah.
So I'm like, aren't you nervous? Like, it's probably because I used to, like, my first career was a teacher. And so that was like I even had
similar expectations.
I had a pen name. I had all this stuff so that my students could not find me on social, on the pen name I was writing under, all that stuff. So maybe that's what's following me around. I don't know. But I guess I'm just like, how do you know, has there been any blowback from you doing this? Or, like, do you feel empowered by it? Or do you feel scared? Or all of the things? Or, like, I guess just how do you approach it mentally and emotionally?
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, when I first started it to appease my nurses, it was a fun little thing. We're doing little TikTok dances and, like, oh, this trending audio. Okay,
Which
fine.
is so, can we just pause, talk about how cool that is? Because, like, I think that it's so relatable. You know, like, if you were to see, like, if I were to see my epileptologist doing a TikTok dance, I would probably fucking love that. Sorry. I swore.
No, you can use it. You can curse. I just won't curse.
Okay.
You can curse.
Good.
Go ahead. Pop off, girl.
Okay. I will.
Queen. Okay.
So if I saw my epileptologist doing a TikTok dance, I would lose my fucking mind in the best way possible. I'd be like, oh my God, there she is. This is amazing. Like,
they're so relatable.
Yes. Like, and I think that's very cool. Like, but I am also like, I feel like it takes a lot of courage too.
Yeah. So there are a couple of things at play here. So, you know, for me, yes. So I think that a physician's presence on social media serves two main functions, and it can serve one or it can serve both. For me, I try to come at it to serve two functions. One, like I said, to provide accurate medical information, because whether we like it or not, this is how patients consume information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is how they consume information. You know, they're going to TikTok. Meanwhile, the legitimate medical information is tucked away in a medical library somewhere in a locked case in a book that no one has opened for 20 years. And each chapter is 45 pages in some language that people don't understand. Patients are not going to consume that information. Okay. They are going to consume the 90-second TikTok video. And if you could get them to watch all 90 seconds, it's a good day, because honestly, most of them get to about 25 seconds and then that attention span kicks in and it's a scroll. Okay. This is how patients consume information. We have to meet them where they are, whether you like it or not. Okay.
That's just so
that's number one
to hear. I just want to say thank you for that point of view and perspective, because it's just, I feel like it's,
listen,
it's wonderful.
We have to be adaptable. I am not on social media for other physicians. If I want to educate other physicians, I do a journal club. I do a grand rounds. I publish a paper in JAMA or,
Sure.
epilepsia. That is not where my patients are. And that's not even something that they would understand because it's scientific. I have to meet them where they
Mm-hmm.
are because if I don't, they're going to get information that's inaccurate and then I have to fix it if I can. So
Yeah.
that's number one, correct the medical misinformation. The second part of this that I think is really important and is an opportunity for us and is a little scary for different ways, is it's an opportunity to humanize
Mm.
medicine. And I think that that's something that we've lost along the
Yes.
way. Um, and the reason for that is perhaps our doing, because we have these very rigid expectations of professionalism,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Which you probably experienced as a teacher. Um,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
expectation to be professional. And so for me, I look at social media and I say, I'm going to educate my patients and hopefully, they get something valid, or if they hear something that's not valid, they can at least cross check it with another social media
Sure.
video, another
Right.
TikTok video. And I show that, hey, here's the other side. Here's when the white coat comes off.
Mm-hmm.
Here's me sitting on the couch eating Cocoa Pebbles at 10 o'clock at night because I'm tired. Here's me, you know, pulling up late to clinic because I was caught up in the ER. Here's me and my
Yeah.
dogs. Here's me and my husband. Because it shows that beyond the white coat, we are human too.
Yes.
And that for patients, I think serves several purposes. One, it lets them know, hey, we're not perfect. We're not gods. We can't fix everything. Don't, yes, we're here to help you, but you got to cut us some slack sometimes. All right. And it also makes us relatable in such a way that they feel connected and they are more likely to be open and honest,
Totally.
okay, and have that solid physician-patient
Yep.
relationship, okay? So those are the two things that I look at for social media, and each of them come with different fears, okay? So the first one, the providing medical
Yeah.
information, the fears with that is someone going to consume this information and hurt themselves and go back and sue me? Right? And this is something that doctors think
Yeah.
about, right? Because there's a lot of it's very litigious. There's a lot of medical legal things. You'll notice that all of my videos have a little disclaimer at the end of them. They say, hey, this is not specific medical information to you. This is general information. This is not medical advice. Okay. And that pretty much accomplishes that protection. Because physicians in training are taught a lot about risk management. Okay. Things that can cost you your career, things that can cost your patients their lives. So there's a lot of fear in that providing of medical information, I think. And what I have told other physicians is in order to be liable in that realm, you have to have a clear physician-patient relationship. You consuming my content does not make you my patient.
Right.
So
Yes.
and so,
100%. I think
but
that's like the biggest thing that not only physicians, but like a TikTok watcher needs to understand too. No
correct.
matter where
Yes,
they're getting the content from, that is not
correct.
unless like they really are your patient and they're like, hey, that's my doctor. Like,
Yeah, but I didn't say it to you
right,
specifically about your case.
right.
And this is why the medical misinformation individuals, it is hard to hold them accountable
Totally.
because when they cause you harm with their medical misinformation, how are you to hold them accountable and bring suit? They will say, I didn't tell you to follow that
Totally.
information. This was general
Totally.
information. Okay.
And this is
Well, the same rules kind
this
of
is like
apply.
a common fear because you even gave a talk about
Yes,
this, right? At AES,
I
at the
did. Yes, I did.
American Epilepsy
Using your digital voice. It was titled, so it was at the American Epilepsy Society Women in Epilepsy brunch, and it was about using your digital voice for advocacy,
Yeah.
which is again kind of and
And the fact that this is a
it
topic, the fact that this is like, it means that this is like a big thing right now that
this
we
is the
need to pay
future.
attention to.
This
Yes.
this is the future, and this ties in. And so, of course, a lot of the women came up to me and they expressed these fears. I want to get on social media, But I am worried that, could this become an issue down the line if someone consumes the information inappropriately, things like that. Also, from an institutional standpoint, depending on the institution at which you work, they also view it that way. They
Oh.
say, hey, this is a liability. You represent the institution. You can't be on social media doing this. Okay. And I think that that's valid, and that is, it's again, physicians and medical institutions are taught a lot about risk
Mm-hmm.
management, and that those are valid concerns. But that does not change that this is the future.
Yeah.
Okay, where I am certain that in the next 5 years there will be classes in medical school about this. Okay,
I
just
hope
about
so.
how we had classes about Stark laws and kickback laws. Again, the risk management. There's going to be social media presence and digital advocacy, because this is how patients are consuming the information. You have to meet them where you are, and if you do it right, it's such an opportunity, because to the same point, and I mentioned this at the talk. I, here's a great example. A big following in Australia. Australians love me. Okay. I have, I have messages from individuals saying, they're from Australia and also New Zealand and also in Europe.
Best accents.
I,
You have the followers with the best accents.
I'm so sorry about it. And what's funny is I've never been to Australia, okay? And yet I have impacted people's lives there, okay? In a positive way. I will have people that will say, hey, I am either a medical resident, a PA, I'm a patient in Australia. I have such a better understanding of my condition. Because of you, I now understand my migraines. Because of your video, I asked my neurologist the right questions.
Wow.
Because of the, and so
Jessica, that's
I say,
huge.
it's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
And I said and I say to anyone who brings up the social media, which I'm going to talk about in a second, the humanizing part and the fears associated
Yeah.
with that. Anyone who brings it up and says, oh, is it unprofessional? Is it this? Is it this? I say to them, okay, as a practicing physician, how long would it take you to influence or to impact the lives of 175,000 patients? Because that's my following on Instagram alone. Okay?
That's such a mic drop moment. Boom. Yeah.
Right? Because if I put out a video that those are just my followers. Those are the non-followers who
Right.
see it.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can put out a video about migraines or epilepsy and it can reach, let's just say 20,000 people, 20,000 people in an hour. Okay. That impact is something. 20,000 people in an hour? It would take me a year to see 20,000. I wouldn't even see 20,000 patients in a year.
I would hope not.
To communicate that information.
Yeah.
No. I'm sure there are some administrators that would like me to. I would be very coveted, but no. And so that right there shows the power of advocacy, digital advocacy, when done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I did somehow manage to get a paper that was delivered to 175,000 people in, a couple of days. All right. How many of them would actually read it? Because again, that's not how they consume information anymore.
Right. Well, and I think it's not to say academics wouldn't read it, other neurologists wouldn't read, but how many patients
Right. And
are
even,
actually reading the research?
correct. And even amongst the academics, do you know how many journals I have sitting on my desk? Every month. There's, you got your neurology journal, you got your epilepsy journal, you got your JAMA journal, and the journal is packed full of articles.
Yeah.
What are the chances I'll find that one? And so again, this is not to take away from the importance of the scientific literature. It is
Right.
important.
No, I totally hear that. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a different space. But what I think is
Yeah.
important for the medical community to understand is that the spaces are not mutually exclusive. They can exist together. And so you have your scientific journals that serve us, okay, as so that we can be up to date and best serve our patients. But if we truly want to best serve them, like I said, we have to deliver little snippets that they can consume in a space that they feel comfortable. And that has quickly become social media. So that's number one. That's the fear of posting medical content. Okay, now the other fear is the humanizing part. Oh my gosh, and I think everyone feels this when they're about to post a video or a picture on social media. They're like, people are going to think I'm silly. People are going to think I'm ridiculous. They're going to think I'm cringe. You know, okay?
I always think people are going to be like, who cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, then keep scrolling. Okay. Then keep scrolling. Cared, posted it, liked it. If you didn't like it, that's fine. But so there's that component of it, that fear that, hey, I'm showing myself. I'm showing my authentic self. I'm being vulnerable on social media. Okay. And so I think that's a fear that everyone can relate to. But for the physician component of that, an additional fear is, what will my colleagues think? And will they lose respect for me?
Oh, wow.
And I think that is a very unique fear because this ties in the concept of professionalism. And this is where institutions also come in and they say, Dr. Lowe, it's not professional for you to have a video posted with Lil Wayne in the background. And I say, well, I didn't post it on your property.
Yeah.
I posted it in my car, and I'm a big fan of Lil Wayne. So
right. Also, like, what? That just makes no sense.
Because there's profanity in the music, or there's,
God, why are people still so hung up on profanity? That one I will not.
I don't understand.
I don't understand that. But
also, the idea of profanity in the healthcare space, being an issue always makes me laugh, because have you ever been in an ER?
No.
All you hear
many times
is F-bombs.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that there is a single physician or nurse or healthcare professional that doesn't say to themselves at least 25 times a day, what the? Okay. This is we're seeing a lot of traumatic stuff. Okay. I promise you, your physician says some bad words.
Oh my God.
Not to you.
I used to have, but it's so funny you bring this up, because it connects to the human side and it connects to everything. Like, I used to have a migraine neurologist back when I had migraines, and he and I think we worked together like 15 years or something. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, who's going to be the first one to drop the F-bomb in this appointment? Like, who's the first one that's going to say, what the fuck is this about?
Yes.
And and that actually, and like, he's like a father figure to me. Like, so it was like, but that like got us closer somehow by like using that word and just being, and kind of it brings down by adding like a little bit of casualness, it makes everything more human. It makes conversations easier. Like, and I think I honestly forgot about that until right now, though. I'd just go see him and I'd be like, who's going to say it first? Like,
And look, I'm not saying that, your physician should not be cursing at you.
Oh, yeah, no. We weren't cursing at each other.
Right. No. And I'll tell you, like, I don't personally, use profanity in the presence of patients. But, the idea that my posting a video that has music in the background that, is somehow deemed as unprofessional. I think that right there shows how desperately we need to redefine professionalism in the medical space.
100%.
Because a lot of what we consider professional, what is professional, what isn't, in my opinion, was defined by these very rigid means in a time where everyone looked the same, everyone sounded the same, everyone behaved
the same. You mean by old white men? Is that what? Yeah, because that's what.
Correct. This was all defined by the old white men of medicine in, when women weren't allowed to even go to med school.
Right.
That is what, we use for professionalism, the standards of professionalism. And again, the world has changed, patients have changed, we have
Mm-hmm.
changed. And I think that those very and again, I'm not saying that you should not have boundaries and you should not have a professional relationship with your
Totally.
patients. Okay, before anyone comes
Yeah.
for me. All right, yes,
Yeah.
there is a certain degree of professionalism, but does it need to be so rigid, so
Right.
cold? Because this is the complaint that a lot of physicians get, right? That or this is the issue that I think a lot of patients have. They don't feel connected to their physician.
Sure.
They don't feel, they're intimidated by their physician, especially the neurologist, right? They're the brain doctor. We're intimidating by
Right.
nature, right?
Yeah, because you guys are
you're
smart
cold,
as
you're
hell. So we're like,
yeah,
you know all the answers. Like,
okay, right? And then you're cold, you're stuffy, you're monotone,
well, and you guys are only
patients-
given like 20 minutes by a system that you did not create, And
correct. We're
yeah,
rushing,
and it's not your
and we're
fault.
post call. We've been awake for
Yeah.
72 hours. We're tired. It's and so it again that if being a little more casual helps establish a better physician-patient relationship and build that rapport in a way that allows that patient to understand the information, consume the information, and more likely to follow your recommendations, to me, that's a
Yes.
win. Because, and kind of going back to how we got on this, that fear that, well, will my colleagues not respect me because I'm on TikTok, right? They'll say, oh, she's more interested in being an influencer, and it's like, no, not really. I'm here for the reasons that I said.
Right. You're
and,
just up to date. You're just right. You're just with the times.
Correct. I am educating patients, and I am establishing I'm trying to humanize the medical field. I'm just using a modern tool to do it. Right. But I do think that that's a fear that physicians have, because we're hard on each other. We're scientists, right? We're very like, this is it. This is the math. These are the numbers. This is the chemical. We're very left-brained. Okay. And so when it comes to stepping outside of that very specific box, there's a lot of, judgment.
Yeah.
It's very easy for someone to not take you seriously, one, as a female, then as a female whose hair and makeup and wears the pink dress and heels to work, because somehow femininity became associated with not being serious. And I'm like, that's not the case at all. My favorite is when patients say, oh, hi, I'm Dr. Lowe, I'm the neurologist. Oh, you don't look like a neurologist. And I always say, what does a neurologist look like?
Oh my God.
All the time. The things that I get the most from patients are, you don't look like a neurologist, or my personal favorite is, you're too pretty to be a doctor, which they somehow think is a compliment.
What? Oh my God. Where are we in society?
It's not.
No.
It's not. Okay. So you don't look like a neurologist. I say, what does a neurologist look like? And they go, and I say, okay, let's try this. How many neurologists do you know? And most people don't know a lot of neurologists. All right. They don't have a ton of neurologists, right? And my favorite is when they say, well, you're actually the first neurologist I'm seeing, because I'm seeing them in the hospital. They just had a stroke, or they had their first seizure, something like that. This isn't in clinic, obviously. Oh, well, you're the first neurologist I've seen. And I say, well, then shouldn't I be the person who determines what a neurologist looks like? You've never seen a neurologist before, but you're telling me I don't look like one. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That, my dear, is called subconscious bias.
Yes. Yep.
See how that works? My personal favorite is when they say, you're too pretty to be a doctor. And I say, I'm sorry, are beauty and brains mutually exclusive?
Oh.
And they go, no, I'm just saying you're very attractive. You're pretty. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty and smart. So anyway, let me talk to you about your brain real quick, because that's what I'm here to do. Okay. All right?
I love it. Yeah. It's so messed up that we're still here.
It's insane. I'm like, what year is this?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
and that's why
it's hilarious.
Well, it is because what else can we do but laugh about it, right? Laugh at ignorance. It's like the best coping
What
strategy.
we do about it. We get on social media and we make an entire brand establishing that women can be pink and fabulous and beautiful and gorgeous and smart and wealthy and successful and independent and all by themselves. And if you don't like it, tough.
Love it.
That's what we do about it. That's what we do. Follow me at Dr. Brain Barbie on TikTok and Instagram.
Mic drop. Boop.
That's what we do. That's how we use social media for the good of the world, okay? For the other young women who are coming up in this field and who deal with this all the time. And listen, I've been this person my whole life, okay? There have been different versions of me, shorter hair, longer hair, 20 pounds here, 20 pounds there, dark hair, whatever, fine. I have consistently been this person my entire life, and the criticisms have been the same. You're too loud, you're too aggressive, you're abrasive, you're confrontational. All of these adjectives that are specifically used to describe women, okay, in a negative light. But the same qualities in men are viewed positively.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And so I've had a lot of practice navigating this before medicine, in medicine, now on social media. It's the same narrative, and it's all founded in sexism and misogyny.
Like this is my whole life. I got this. Like,
this is my first rodeo. Okay. Look like this my whole life. Okay. They look at you, you're pretty, they don't take you seriously, and you're like, actually, would you like to count my degrees?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's okay. There are a lot of them. Continue. I love, I'm a little defiant. I love breaking a glass ceiling, and I love breaking a stereotype, and I love watching that realization on someone's face when that subconscious stereotype, because of something that I said, not in a negative way,
right,
but because they say something like, you're too pretty to be a doctor, and I ask them a question that helps them realize that, oh, that's actually an outdated way to think, or I guess you can be all the things, right? I love being the person to bring that to light. But if you can impact one person's life or one person's view, or just shift that perspective a little bit to go, interesting, then that to me is a win. And that's why when people say, oh, it's unprofessional for you to be on social media, or, your colleagues might not take you seriously. I'm not here for some other doctor in another state, in another institution. I don't want to say I don't care about your opinion of me, but I'm not here for you. I'm here for the patients. And I bet you anything that those scientists, those individuals who look at those of us who are on social media and think that we're less serious are the same people who subscribe to that outdated definition of professionalism. And I bet you your patients are in my inbox complaining about you and your stuffiness.
100%.
I bet you. Yep. I bet you they are, because they and this is patients will say, my neurologist doesn't listen to me. My neurologist, I wish you were. It is patients want humans to treat them. They don't want robots. And so we have to, again, meet them where they are. But I will say that sometimes I have a moment where I go, oh God, what have I done? Right? But something that was really wonderful, going back to AES, because you mentioned the American Epilepsy Society annual conference this year in Georgia. I went to an event, and it's all epileptologists, and I'm in this bright pink dress, and I'm like, I walk in and it's just all epileptologists, and I go, oh Lord, I forgot kind of what my target audience is here. I'm like, I'm the only person in pink, and it's bright, and I'm like, for a minute, I went, these people aren't going to take me seriously. Like they're going to think that I'm just this blonde, you get in your head, even I get in my head. And what was so wonderful was that so many epileptologists who are older than I am, different backgrounds, coming from academic institutions, different races, more senior physicians, okay, because I'm 5 years out. I could tell that they were 10, 15 years out. Came up to me and said, "Oh my God, you're Dr. Brain Barbie. My patients love
Oh
you."
my God, that's amazing.
And I
Oh.
was like, you know what? And I actually had one physician come up to me, and he was a little bit older than I was, and he said, "Keep doing what you're doing. The patients love
Oh,
it. The
I
patients love it." And I was like,
You're like, here I am, my bright pink dress, and oh my God, I'm being embraced. Like it's revolutionary.
you know why? Because those are good
Yes.
physicians, because what that tells you is, even though it's something that they're not comfortable doing and that they may not fully understand,
Mm-hmm.
they're in it for the patients. And if you're helping their patients, they like you.
Yeah.
And that's
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 all that
all
matters.
that
Oh my
matters.
God.
That's all that
That's so
matters.
amazing.
It's the patients.
Well, and I think like just to a broader perspective too, even no matter where you're showing up, when you show up as yourself, if that's a little bit
Yes.
different, which everyone's a little bit different, there's always a little thing in the back of your head. Like I
That's
remember
great.
last year, about a year ago when I went to DC to advocate for the national plan, I wore my glitter shoes. I have like a million pairs of gold
Hmm.
glitter shoes because that's just my jam.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know how this is going to go over, but like these are they were also literally the only shoes I could walk around Capitol Hill in. I was on Capitol Hill in gold glitter shoes, and some people were like, "Oh, I love your shoes." And I was like, "Holy shit. Okay, this is cool. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay."
Yeah.
Like you can be yourself even when you're showing up to somewhere serious,
Yes.
you know? And I think that's just
Yes.
like a wonderful message to put out there to whether you're a doctor, patient, uh, caretaker, whatever. No, none of the above. Like it's just as a human, showing up as yourself is huge.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like the idea of, you you not being serious because of what color you're
Right.
wearing or how sparkly something is
Yes.
that you have on your person. That blows my mind. Like, I feel all the time, "I'm sorry, do you think that wearing pink affects my ability to read EEGs?" Like, that's not,
Right.
if that's
Yeah.
what you think, you shouldn't be a
Yeah.
neurologist. Okay. You probably should not be in the
Yeah.
scientific
Yeah.
community. All right. That
Totally.
concerns me.
Well, Jessica, before we uh finish up, by the way, this has been like a wonderful, amazing conversation. I can't wait for everyone to
So
hear
glad.
this. But I am going to ask you three questions that have absolutely nothing to do with what we've been talking about. What is your favorite color?
It's red.
Yeah.
100% red. Red is my power color. Red lips, red
You're
nails,
like,
red car, red
yeah.
bottoms, all the
Yeah.
red.
Well, I love it. That was actually the dress.
Oh
I got married in red. I got married in a red dress.
my
Yeah.
God. I
Yeah, me too.
love
So much
that.
fun.
Oh, I just love you so much.
Ditto, girl. Number two, if like money and time were no issue, and you could just like get on a
Okay.
plane tomorrow and go on a trip, where would you go?
Venice.
Oh, have you been?
No.
Me either.
And it is, we're, my husband and I are hopefully planning a trip. It's our place that we've always wanted to go together.
Oh,
And when we got married, we wanted to go for our honeymoon, but we were both residents. We didn't have time. We didn't have,
yeah.
and then when we finally got out, COVID hit. We weren't going
Oh,
then. And so now we're finally like settling into life, both as attendings, because we're both physicians. Our schedules are settling out. And so we said, okay, 2026 is the year we start with the travel. So y'all be prepared to be sick of me on social media all over the
I
world.
can't
I
wait.
hope. Fingers
Oh my
crossed.
God, you got
Fingers
to go to
crossed.
Australia to meet all your fans. And then the last question is, what does it mean to you to be a friend?
To be a friend to me means to love someone unconditionally, and to support them through their highs and their lows, and to just always be there to listen, and no matter where you are in the world. And I say that because most of my friends are in fact long distance. My best friends in the world are in the Bahamas, New Jersey, Massachusetts. I'm in Delaware. Life gets busy, and we always make time for each other. And if I get that message with the code word, hey, something's wrong, we have code words. It's all right, an all hands on deck situation, and we will always be there to support them. I do have one. I'm fortunate to have a best friend also here in Delaware, and one of my other best friends just moved to Oklahoma. So,
guys are all over.
we're all over, and they're still my tribe, and I know that if I called any of them, the ones who aren't in Delaware, and I'm the one in Delaware, and said, I need you right now, they would be on a plane, no questions asked. And to me, that's what being a friend is.
Yeah. Drop everything, people.
Yeah.
Totally. That's awesome.
Yeah, your ride or dies.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not referencing Lil Wayne again, are you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
We gotta get we should go out to DMX. We should just play it at the end of this message. We should play Wayne for the administrators who called me in about my social media post.
100%.
Yeah. We're gonna play right above it at the end of this episode. Just that's gonna be the intro and the extro song. Go.
I'm gonna see if I can do that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jessica, for the work that you do, like as a physician. We didn't even get to that part. And then like your work as a medfluencer. Is that the right term? Medfluencer?
That's what they call us now.
Apparently. I thank you for being human. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for being unapologetically yourself. You are making a difference in so many ways, and I'm just so grateful that you came on the show to share your story and talk to us.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.